Welcome back. You probably noticed this is episode 1. It is actually the second video I put out. That's because for computer, they count from 0. The first item is indexed at 0, and then the second item is indexed at 1. So here we are, the second episode, at the same time, episode 1. So in this video, we are going to do some real task. What we are going to do is basically, let me show you. We're going to go to Wikipedia, economics. I'm going to teach you how to have Python script, and then in turn tell your computer to go to this website and then download the text on this page. That's what we're going to do. And I'm going to start completely from scratch. I have nothing on my desktop right now. So let's get started. First thing you want to do before you start a project is to get a new folder. My new folder is on my secondary screen, so it won't come over here. But okay. Let me bring this up. Alright, there we go. It's an empty folder. And as you know, we're doing Python, so let's have Python. So in fact, I'm going to just open this directory using terminal. So, well, for those who are not familiar with terminal, CD stands for change directory. You can go to anywhere you want on the computer using this command. I'm going to go to desktop, EP.1. Is that what I call it? EP.1, okay. There we go. We are in episode 1 directory, and if I type it, ls stands for, I actually don't know what it stands for, but I guess it's listing. It lists out nothing because this is an empty directory. So let's create something. So now I found my newly created folder, absolutely empty folder. And if I drag this folder into a text editor, in this case I'm using Sublime. You can use whatever text editor you want to do this. And it shows my folder, and I can type on it. Let's have a new file. Call it EP.1.py. Alright. I'm gonna put it right here. Okay, now we have a Python file. Let's make sure it works. Print hello world. Alright, save it. Go to my terminal. Go to desktop. And EP1. Oh no. Check out, there's a file there. Python 3. EP1.py. Hello world. Okay, everything's working now. Again, if you are not too familiar with Python and this kind of terminal operation, check out the very first video I put out and learn the basics first, then come back here. Alright, now we have Python running, and since we want to do web scraping, what I want you to understand is what in the end of the day a web page is. to show that, let's just make a web page real quick. I'm going to open up another new file, save it, call it index.html, and here I'm going to say this is my first web page. Save it, and review in Finder. If I go ahead and try to open it up using a browser, you actually see a very simple web page. And whenever you call something HTML and the browser sees it, it's going to know it's a web page. It's nothing else, it's a web page. So it's going to interpret this file as a web page. So, and you know there are a whole bunch of stuff other than text on a web page, right? There are headings. For example, if I put in H1, at the back of it I call it H1 as well, closing the tab, and now you go ahead and refresh this web page. You see a bigger, bold heading style like text. You can also put in inputs. Well, you don't really have to worry about the details here. I'm just trying to get you familiar with what a web page essentially is. And you'll see if I refresh this, there's a text box that I can type things into. This is what a web page is. Alright. And now you know what is a web page. But then the problem is, how do I go to the internet? How do I go to a web page using Python and then download the information I want, right? The way you do that is through a library. If you have dealt with Python before at all, you know there are tons of library for Python. So the one we are going to be using is called request. It's not a standard library. It's not included by default. So if you don't have that, what you need to do is install that. Try to pip install and request. Right, that's the way to do it. Since I already have that, I'm going to delete the command. Let me make it a little bit nicer. Okay. Now we have request library imported. Let's do some basic requesting. Get rid of that. Right. To see a Wikipedia using Python, you first need to create an object from the request library. So you say request IQ for short. It's gonna be request.get, which is a method. And okay, which URL am I gonna go? Which website am I gonna go? Python is gonna need that. Oh, we're just gonna copy that, throw that in. Okay, now Python knows it is going there, right? And then after getting that information, what are you gonna do with it? Well, you can do a couple of things. You can check out its status by saying rec the status underscore code. And now see what happened if we run this script. It says 200. Let me give you a comment down here. Status 200 means okay for HTTP protocol. Well, you might have seen another protocol before, even before programming at all. That's 404. That means something is wrong, right? So what we can do is make sure the status is okay before we do anything. So let's make a simple if and else condition. If rec.status code equals to 200. Okay, proceed. Otherwise, give up. Do nothing. We have the status being okay. What we're going to do is, why don't we just print out, wait, something's wrong here. Oops. Print. Why don't we just print the text of that object, I mean that web page object. So if we do that, run that again, you're going to see a massive text right there. And if you look carefully, this is exactly the text you see on the Wikipedia page. And in fact, we can save it somewhere on our computer instead of having it in this black console, and then we can never find it later on. The way we do that is, if you know Python good enough, is through a file object. Let's say f is assigned to be a file object by using an open keyword. Nope. Let's call it wiki data.html. And the second argument is going to be the mode of this file object, which in our case is writing. We are writing something onto this file object, W for short. And what we're going to do with it is f.write. We're going to write this into the file object. In fact, we can get rid of this print lines statement too. Let's get rid of that. And we're going to write the result onto the file object. And then, after finish writing, we need to close that too. Okay, save that. See what it does. It says 200. It is right here. Right. It downloaded the page, the HTML page for that particular Wikipedia page for us. And if we open that, if we open that in Chrome, you're gonna see a Wikipedia page, of course without styling and stuff, just plain old text. Probably the information you want is in this text document. And you can see I have two Wikipedia pages here, but one is coming from my local file system, while another one coming from the internet. We downloaded this page and save it onto our local file. Well, now I don't want to make the video too long, so I guess I will stop here, and in the next episode we're gonna see how to do multiple web page at once instead of doing this one by one. And I'm gonna teach you how to do it with multiple Wikipedia page for say. See you in the next episode, and if you have any question, comment down below.